Hello and welcome back to another comic series AMA. This month we're going to focus on two 3D Mario games, Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy. Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy are two very prominent 3D Mario platformers, which I'm sure most, if not all of you, already know about. They're from the good old days of the GameCube and Wii, and some of my favorite platformers ever. The first set of questions comes from Aquasun. First of which, alright, getting this out of the way, favorite Shine and Star missions. I'm going to choose a few since it's actually hard to choose just one. For Sunshine, I really like Blooper Surfing Safari in Rico Harbor, the Mysterious Hotel Defino in Serena Beach, and the Turbo Nozzles Secret Mission in Delfino Plaza. Ironically, I tend to enjoy more surfy or exploration shines rather than the platforming. And then for Galaxy, it's a bit similar where it's a bit lessened when you know where the answers are, but I really loved the Find Luigi stars where you get that picture and then you have to go and find him. Any challenge in a game that asks you to recall information, sort of like a scavenger hunt, really appeals to me. Aside from those ones, I do really like the boss stars where you get to climb on the bosses like Mega Leg or the Bowser robot in Toy Time Galaxy. Next question. The three games, Sunshine, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, approach story pretty differently. Which did you think did it best? I think like Sunshine had a pretty good contender at the start, but then it dropped any kind of story beats after Peach was kidnapped, and then only had a bit at the end. Galaxy 1 is also pretty similar in that boat, but I think more effort went into the ending being kind of more grand, and then obviously there's the storybook, which can be looked at any point throughout the game. For that reason, I think Galaxy 1 wins out for me, and Galaxy 2 just doesn't really do much that I recall. It was out of the contention right at the start. Next question. FLUDD versus the Luma spin. Which control scheme did you prefer? I grew up with Sunshine, so I think I have to go with FLUDD. Figuring out all the ways that FLUDD can change up your platforming is super fun, and I think it has more impact than the Luma, because like if you think about it, in Galaxy 1 or 2, I don't think there's any missions that really take the Luma away from you and, radically change the gameplay as a result. So, I mean, if there's that much of a difference with FLUDD versus not having FLUDD, I feel like that's like a very big impact on the game, which I think appeals to me a bit more. I feel like I forget the Luma is like a thing half the time. Last question from Aquasun. What things should other 3D platformers consider copying from these games? It's a bit tough to say because I think a bunch of platformers already have taken notes, but that said, I do think that more games need to take the note from Sunshine to take one theme and really dive into that. Sunshine is so much a summer vacation game, and it got so many different unique environments from just that. And even to this day, I feel like I haven't seen much of that. Like there's still kind of the worlds concept. One other thing from Sunshine I think other platformers could take and edit slightly is the concept of blue coins, but fix it so it's not completely optional. It still baffles me that they got this concept of, give a collectible that can be exchanged for the main collectible so that players can have more freedom to, do the missions they want, and then if there's one that they really don't like, they can just go buy a shine instead for a bit more effort throughout different worlds. But then it literally doesn't matter at all because you have to get to mission 7 at every level anyway, which is basically all of them other than the 8th missions. I still don't know how they fumbled that great idea. Next set of questions, and the last set, comes from Angel Princess. What Sunshine mission did you dislike the most? It's a pretty standard answer, but I probably have to go with the Poison River Lily Pad, where you need to get there with Yoshi first. It's just way too cruel to have an insta-death river with a single chance challenge, and then having a pipe at the end that leads to the plaza, meaning you have to do the Yoshi part again. And then some may be surprised that I am actually pretty okay with Pachinko, the other unpopular choice. It's not my favorite, but I am pretty okay at controlling it. And then I just talked about blue coins, but if it does count, then my answer is also every blue coin shine because they're all optional and don't do anything. Next question. Favorite Sunshine world to explore for aesthetics? I think I'd have to say Serena Beach or Hotel Delfino. I actually really like hotels in general in real life, so having one in a game level is really great. And then you don't have to pay the hotel fees either, so that's an extra bonus. Next question. Which Galaxy mission did you dislike the most? This was actually really hard because Galaxy missions are very solid. I think I'd have to say the Manta Ray stars, as the controls are a bit in my opinion, and it doesn't feel very race-like, as it's pretty slow and like bumpy, and you're not actually racing anybody, you're just going for a better time, which, like, okay. Next and final question. Favorite power-up to use in Galaxy? I'm gonna have to say the Ice Flower. Being able to skate across the water at will and wall jump on waterfalls is really cool, and I kind of wish they did a little bit more with it. And that's the last question for the month, so let's head on over to the end screen. Here you'll see my lovely patrons scrolling on by, along with their patron NPCs. If you're interested in asking a question, or any of the other rewards that come with supporting me, check out the link to my Patreon in the description. Rewards include seeing comics before they're posted publicly, behind-the-scenes drawings, voting which comic series will be featured next month, and more. Even without pledging, you can have access to things like preview panels, coloring pages, and occasionally some of the lower-tiered rewards as a little taste of what pledging can get you. Thank you to everyone who asked a question, and anyone who watched this video. The support means a lot to me. Until next month, bye!